In this video, we are going to create this amazing pop-out effect in Photoshop CC 2017 actually. And well, actually I have created two type of things like this and this. You can use any of them, but we'll try to create similar of these. So let's start our work without wasting any kind of time. Welcome back everyone, my name is Adnan and let's start our work. So first of all, I am going to use this simple image which is pretty much nice and simple. So let's start our work. First of all, we need to create a plane. For this I am going to use pen tool and will create points in all the corners of this cell phone. Okay, so I have created the selection. Now let's just right click on that and click on make selection. As feather is 0%, so pixels should be 0 and click on OK. So we have created selection. For the time being, we are going to filling this selection with a name plane and we'll fill it with any color. For the time being, I am going to use black color and it feels like it works perfectly. That's great. And yes, I know the blur is not still created, so don't be worried about that. We will work on that. First of all, we will convert it into a smart object. The reason is that I am going to put our texture inside that layer so that we could change it anytime if we feel that it is not looks good into our canvas. So let's pick up our, without wasting any time, we'll just double click on this thumbnail and you will see the new document is open with the name plane because we are now inside this layer. Inside this layer we have this black fill area. So let's just drag our plane. I'm going to use this texture which is grass. You can see that looks perfect. So we'll size it up until we get fill all the area of our layer. Put it on top a little bit where you will feel like it's perfect. That's great. And now what else we need to do is yes, now press Control Alt and click between these two layers, or just right click on the grass layer and click on create clipping mask. Now it is on our texture. Now press Ctrl S to save this layer and you will see it is affecting our main layer. Now you can see that it looks nice, but we do more work with that because we want to apply a blur on that image. So we will look back after, we will check it later. For the time being, we need to get our character inside our this document. So I have this character, as you can see that I have already cutted this. If you want to see the whole image is looks like this. You can see that this is from DeviantArt. It's a face stock. It's pretty much amazing because these are, I don't know how much images there are because I've just scrolled down and the images were keep coming and amazing stuff. So I have just already created removed the background, but there are still little errors inside that, so we will fix them inside our main document. So we'll name this layer as girl and we'll convert this into, without converting this anything, we'll just click and drag it into our main document. We will drag it inside our Photoshop. Now press Ctrl D, then we will center this to check where it looks nice and then small the size to fit it inside our cell phone because it's a miniature type thing. So let's see where it looks perfect. I think it feels good here in my opinion, or we can make it a little bigger or smaller, it's your choice, but I think it looks nice here. So that's great. Now what else is left is we want to remove the sides, so we'll select our layer mask thumbnail which we have created. Now press brush tool, selecting your foreground color as black, opacity is 100%, the flow is 100%, and size it down. And now we will remove the sides and we want to mix the both images. Don't worry about that, let me just remove the sides first. So we could get a small area instead of big area. That's cool. Now first of all we need to see that what type of grass we are using. I think it's perfect on this grass because the grass is smaller and the bench is bigger, so that's nice. Perfect, we don't need to resize this thing again. Now I want to mix these two layers. Like it looks like that the grass should touch the this floor. So how we can do that is we will selecting our brush tool, we will lower down the opacity to about 40 to 50%. You can use any of the values between this, and the flow should also be between this. Opacity and flow same. Now size it down and let's just brush this out, and you will see it's slowly revealing the grass on our layer. So looks perfect now and nice. Now we have done this small thing, and now we want to fix the small errors inside that because we have removed some bench of some area of bench. So again with selecting our layer mask thumbnail, selecting your brush tool, making your opacity 100%, your flow is 100%, and your hardness should also be 100%. So now we will get back our area. Oops, changing your foreground color to white, and then you can get back your lost area. For this we will create a new layer, name this layer as light. First shift backspace, we'll fill this with 50% gray, but we are not doing this. We just want to do is we'll press Ctrl and click on this layer mask thumbnail. It will create a selection around this character, and then we will shift backspace to fill it with this 50% gray, and now we'll make it overlay. Click and then select brush tool, deselect that area, and now it will only create the effect only on this character layer. Now we'll select our dodge and burning tool. So we have the dodge tool, and size it down. The exposure should be about 20%. Looks perfect. And now that's nice. Now we'll create a new layer again and name this layer as dark. Again we'll create a selection like this, and shift backspace and fill it with 50% gray again, make it overlay again, and now we'll touch the dark area. We'll select burn tool this time. I think we are fine with this setting, looks perfect. And now the only thing is left our grass color because it's too much light. So we'll select our plane layer, create a new layer, shift backspace to fill it with 50% gray, then make it like this, and then change normal to overlay. Then select your brush tool, size it up. So we are not going to use brush tool, we are going to select dodge tool, size it up. This time we are going to expose to about like 10%, I think. Sorry, it's burn tool, sorry, it's a mistake. That's great. Now we'll size it up, and now we will make our ground plane like this. Then that's great, not too much, just a little bit. Then create a new layer again, make it clip mask, shift backspace and 50% gray, change this to overlay, and we want to give some light area. So we'll select dodge tool this time. That looks nice. Okay, so we have two things done, and now we wanna give a tree, so you can use trees. I have two trees, like first one is this and second one is this, so I'm going to use this tree, and this is also nice, but I'm going to use this tree, looks perfect and nice. So we'll drag it inside our Photoshop, size it down. It's already in PNG, so we don't need to remove the background. So I'm going to use this here on this side. Let's just make it a little wrap. Click on this check mark, and now we wanna mix the brush. So how we can do that is we'll create a layer mask on it. First we'll select our brush tool, 100% opacity, 100% flow, and we will remove some sides by using soft brush. Once you done that, now we will size it down, and again we will lower down the opacity to about like 40 or 50. It will be between this, and now we will mix this with our grass. That looks nice. And now we want to match the color of this tree with the grass. How we can do that is simply just going to click on this selective colors. We will click on this, so it could clip mask on this layer, and now I'll select greens, and we will make it little like this. That's cool, and it matches very well. Now we wanna make our tree also dodge and burn, so we'll create a new layer. We will right click on this and click on create clipping mask, shift backspace to fill it with 50% gray color, and then we will change the normal to overlay. And now we will select our dodge tool first. Yes, exposure should be increased to about 26%. Now that looks pretty much nice. We'd like to lower down the opacity to about 80%, and that looks perfect. Okay, now that's it. We want to add some light and some clouds here and some birds, so let's just do it. First I would like to add is our light, but before we do that, we'll just select our tree, make a group, and name this group as tree, which contains all the tree contents. And this is our girl, so we'll select this and group this and name this as girl, so it contains all the girl contents. And now we have our plane, so we'll group this and name this layer as plane. Great. Now we have our different groups, and this time I'm going to create a blur on this tree and this we can say that grass. How we can do that is we'll select this tree and take under the girl group, select both of these groups, and we'll create another group, and we'll name this as plane and tree. That's nice, and we'll now convert it into a smart object. Reason to create this smart object is we have saved everything inside that layer. How? We just double click on this layer mask thumbnail, and you will see everything is there, and including the layer mask and everything which we have used. So we wanna blur this. How we can blur this is simple. We just select the plane and tree layer, go to filter, blur gallery, and go to tilt shift. It's nice for this kind of blurs. And it's, if you feel too much, just make it lower. 16% is nice. So click on OK, and you will see that our grass is blurred from this side also. How we can get back this grass is as simple as it looks. How? Click on this smart filters thumbnail, press brush tool using your foreground color as black, opacity is 100%, flow is 100%, and just brush out the area which you don't want to blur. So I don't want to blur this thing. And once you're done, just lower down the opacity to make it mix with the grass, so that looks nice. So now it looks perfect and nice. Okay, now we want to add a light on the top, so we'll create a new layer, fill this layer with black color, go to filter, render and lens flare, size it, make it on the top like this. I think it looks nice here, or we can make it white light and click on OK. Then we'll go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur it to about 10, then click on OK, make it screen, and I think it looks nice. And now we want to change the light color, so we'll create a hue saturation layer on this and make it clip mask on this layer, and change the colorize option to check mark and increase the colorize, and we want to make it little yellow. That looks perfect. Great. Now we'll create a new layer again. We'll select our brush tool, size it up where it looks nice, hardness is 0%, and then we'll change the color to about like a little light color. So we'll click here twice, but before you do clicking, make your opacity and flow is 100%, and then click twice. That looks nice. And then what else we need to do is we'll select our brush tool, change the color to little dark, size it down in the center, double click inside that, then make it screen, or I think screen is nice. Pick and drag it on the top. Now press Ctrl T, and we would like to make it a little longer like this, and we will pick up our light and take it little top, and now it looks perfect. Okay, one thing is left is our birds left here, so we'll go to birds and drag them inside our Photoshop. Looks perfect and nice. And now we wanna add some smoke, dust, or we can say that smoke. So we'll create a new layer, go to filter, render and clouds. But before you do that, change the foreground color to black, and then do this step, filter, render and clouds. Looks nice. Now we'll press Ctrl, or before you do that, just go normal to screen, then press Ctrl L to call up your levels, and we wanna make blacks to about little bit invisible like here. Looks nice. Click on OK, and now we'll select our brush tool, size it up and mask this, and we will remove the area which you don't want to use, because we don't want to use it outside of our layer. So we'll remove this from, and that's great. Let's try to blur this. Go to filter, blur and Gaussian blur. I don't think so that it looks nice, so I think it looks much better here. So that's great. We are done about to done here, so we can increase this size of these birds, and that's it. Now we wanna dark the sides, so we'll create a new layer, we'll select brush tool, size it up, and instead of brush tool we'll fix this with 50% gray and make it overlay. Then we would like to go to burn tool, sorry, it's a dodge tool. Size this up. Once you're satisfied with the output, and as I am satisfied with this, let's just you can see the sun is a little yellow, so we'll like to create a new layer on the plane. Select brush tool and select your yellow color here, and I would like to drag it on grass. Let's just make it a soft light. And that's great, looks perfect and nice. Same thing on our character. Girl layer, rename, create a new layer, mask on it, press brush tool, size it down. Only lighter area, make it screen and size it down to about 54%, and we will load the clouds. Change the light opacity to about like 70%. That looks nice. And now we'll press Ctrl Shift Alt plus E, or before we do that, just go to apply a gradient. Before that, we will create a new layer and make it soft light, and now we will go to adjustments, go to gradients, and now it will apply it on our layer directly. And let's just select the gradient which suits for this image. I think that looks perfect. Click on OK, hit OK, and this time I would like to make it a little, the opacity should be about like 34%. Then I will create a levels, sorry, it's a color adjustment. I'll go to levels, change the RGB to blue, and that looks perfect. Great. Now we'll press Ctrl Shift Alt plus E to make a snapshot of this layer, name this layer as final, and we'll convert it into a smart object, and we'll give it a little detail. Go to filter, other, high pass, and I would like to use 3.0, and now we'll make it soft light to see if it looks nice. Little detail increased, but I would like to make it overlay so the detail will be insane. That's great, and we are done. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. We will meet in our next video. Never stop and never depend, and keep learning.